As I was listening to the gospel read today, I recalled something important that I forgot to put in my sermon. For some reason, St. John, the theologian, one of the three called theologians in the Orthodox Church, places this event on the 8th day. Very important, 8th day. The 8th day is the day with no end. It's the day of the kingdom. It's the day beyond time. It's the sacramental moment. It's the perfect kairos, the moment of perfection, beyond perfection. So there's something special about today's gospel and the events that take place. We must always remember when reading and interpreting Holy Scripture to do so in the light of Christ, whose preeminent message was, "Be compassionate as your Father in heaven is compassionate." As the God-man, he sees our deepest needs and understands from his own incarnate experience exactly what cure to apply, when, how, and where. Thomas was deeply wounded by the crucifixion, just as were all the other disciples. His questions and doubts arose from feelings of fear and loss and confusion. The parts of him that rose to protect and manage these intense feelings were no doubt on double duty. His response made perfect sense. We do a grave injustice to Thomas and to one another when we fail to recognize these things. The other disciples responded in various ways. Peter, at the empty tomb, was bewildered. The myrrh-bearing women in Mark's account were frightened and fled, so frightened that they disobeyed the angel who told them to report what they had seen to the apostles. They disobeyed the angel. It's also interesting that Mary Magdalene and the other two disciples, Luke and Cleopas, did not recognize Jesus at first, even though they had known him intimately. It took a special and personal response from the Lord to open their eyes to him. The sound of his voice, the breaking of bread, and the same is true for all of us. It takes a special and personal touch to open our eyes. And Jesus responds to every person as is needed. He spoke tenderly to Mary in the garden by simply saying her name. Her eyes were opened and she heard his voice. Peter, who had denied him 3 times, was asked 3 times, "Peter, do you love me?" as if applying the necessary cure 3 times to heal the fearful wound that sparked Peter's 3-time denial. Luke and Cleopas were awakened only when the Lord broke the bread, as he had done at the Last Supper, and Thomas so intimately needed to see and touch him to believe. His deep sadness was the reason for the Lord's invitation to touch him in the places of his still visible wounds. How tenderly Jesus responds to everyone. And note also that before this happened with Thomas in the 8th day, the Lord showed his wounds to the other disciples so they would know it was him. And then they were glad when they saw the Lord. They had some doubts too. But something special here. And notice in all of these responses, doubts and fears, confusion, bewilderment, Jesus does not criticize any of them. Not one of them was made to feel inadequate or unloved or inferior. Not one of them, doubting or not, was rejected by the Lord, for his heart is always open and never closed to us. What is that something that touches Thomas deeply and prompts his confession? I think not only is it that he saw Jesus risen from the dead, but that Jesus accepted him completely and said, I know what you need. Touch my wounds. This unconditional love is what causes him to proclaim Christ to be both Lord and God. He is not a fully blown theologian at this time. He's prompted by unconditional love and acceptance from God, his Lord who stood before him. The Lord loves us as well, just as we are, and understands us just as we are. In that moment, Thomas, deeply wounded by his experience, the death of his Lord, is healed. In this moment, we too can be healed. For his unconditional love is here as well. It seems most obvious in viewing the Lord's varied responses to the reactions of his disciples that he must also care deeply about each of us. This is our fervent belief. He is alive, he is risen, and he cares for us. He knows our needs, our fears, our confusions, our deepest desire to be forgiven and to love and to be loved, and he is ready to fulfill all of those things. I think C.S. Lewis was right when he said that God has an eternity to spend with each one of us alone. So let us open ourselves to him with all our doubts and confusion and fears, and allow the healing of our hearts to radiate for the healing of all. That is, after all, what happened in the upper room that day. The healing that happened in Thomas spread throughout the world. My friends, writes the poet, love is better than anger. Hope is better than fear. Optimism is better than despair. Do let us be loving, hopeful, and optimistic, and we will change the world. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.